Okay, I think I'm live, so I'm going to say hello to everyone. I'm just getting myself settled. Today, we're going to talk about Leo. Let's talk about Leo. I'm so excited because I have Riley, my co-host. Say hi, Riley.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing?
And Riley happens to have Leo in his birth chart. So this is going to be good. But also understand, sorry guys, I'm just getting myself settled. Also understand with Leo, everybody has a fifth house placement because Leo represents the sun, it's fixed fire. So I need you to understand that everybody has a fifth house placement. So for example, like myself, I am a Scorpio sun, 0 degrees Sag. I'm a cusper. So I have both Scorpio and Sagittarius in the fifth house. For me, because Leo represents glamour, drama, the theater, children, genes, so hereditary, anything that comes from your family, as far as the hereditary traits that come from your family to the offsprings, all those things represents the fifth house. So can I put you into a little secret? Can I give you a little secret about me with having Scorpio in my birth chart in the fifth house? Riley, do you mind?
I don't mind.
A little secret about me.
Tell me.
So for me, having Scorpio in the fifth house, because understand that Leo represents also sex, and so does Scorpio. So having the eighth house, which is Scorpio, like myself, in the fifth house, for me, sex is lights, camera, action. Leo also rules the pornographic industry. So do you understand like the connection between all of this? Like, and I'm not even getting to the shadow side of my Leos yet. Okay, I'm just talking about the nice playfulness side of Leo, because also Leo, you also represent playfulness, you also represent pleasure. Now, everybody thinks that the eighth house is the only horoscope that represents sex or rules sex. That's not true. It starts with Leo. Leo, you rule the pornographic industry, the drama, the theater. There are a lot of good actors, celebrities, actresses, singers, artists under your sun sign. And that's amazing. So when I'm talking about my life, my little secrets, because Scorpio's a little hush hush about their sex life, but don't get it twisted. To have a Scorpio placement, two things. One, a lot of people find Scorpios to be very sexy, both male and female, don't matter what gender you are. A lot of people are attracted, they tend to be attracted, let me put it that way. They tend to be attracted to a Scorpio. But again, it's because Scorpio in the fifth house represents glamour and beauty. And we're talking about, it just makes you become more sexy and more attracted to others. And I'm just talking about Scorpio. You're an Aries sun sign, right, Riley?
That's correct.
So you have Aries in the fifth house. So for someone like Riley, to have Aries in their birth chart, which is the baby of the zodiac wheel, people with Aries placements in the fifth house tend to have baby faces. You'll see that a lot of people will have baby face. They also like drama. So makeup to break up for Aries is huge for them. Okay, that drama, that Mars energy. Does that turn you on more when you fight and then you have to make up? I mean, I feel like you don't know it at the time as a Aries placement in the 5th house. But is that like exciting for you, for an Aries to make up and break up, or break up and make up?
Yes, because oddly enough, like I have this weird thing with me where, like, when a female curses me out, it kind of turns me on.
Interesting. That's the drama. That's the 5th house drama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's interesting. Also, I know also Riley has a Leo rising. This is why I love that we're doing this today with him, because he has a Leo rising. And then his Aries is in the 5th house. So this is double fire for Riley. This is too much fuego. Okay. So Riley tends to, and correct me if I'm wrong, Riley, you tend to go for females, or you're attracted to the opposite sex, but they have to be very like a certain type of look, right? They have to be very, the glamour to you is very important, and so is sex. Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm a little bit shallow in that regard. I have to admit.
Oh, do you know, now you know why, right?
Oh, I've been new.
Oh, you know. Oh, okay.
But
Well, let's now
ahead.
to piggyback off of Riley, let's talk about the shadow side of Leo. Leos, you tend to be very arrogant. You rule arrogance. It is what it is. Riley accepted his shallow side when it comes to the opposite sex. But that's another thing that Leo represents is pride, shallowness, falsehood, narcissistic behavior, external narcissistic behavior. It starts with Taurus. It's very strong. Narcissistic behavior tends to be very strong in fixed signs. It starts with Taurus. Internal narcissistic behavior starts with Taurus. With Leo, it becomes more external. So more, Leo is the sun. So it's more external. Your sun sign is more of your aesthetic look, how you look. So you'll see that your sun sign, when people look at your sun sign, and they're like, oh, well, you look like a Leo, or you act like a Capricorn, or whatever the case may be. And that may be true aesthetically, but internally, people have a super ego, and your super ego is your rising sign. For Riley, I almost forgot your name there. For Riley, Mercury retrograde is kicking my ass, Riley, so forgive me. For Riley, he has a Leo rising. That is his super ego, which means that most people will tend to look at him as either his moon placement, which is Pisces, so that is how you react to things, or his Leo placement, which is his super ego. So we have your moon placement, which is your ego, and then we have your rising sign, which is your super ego. So I sometimes I when Riley acts like a Leo, I know astrologically wise, he's acting like a Leo, and that's fine because that's his super ego. But very little people know, they can't pinpoint that you're an Aries, right? Do people come to you and be like, oh, you must be an Aries?
That's a good question. Sometimes people, it hits them later. Because me being an evolved Aries, sometimes they don't catch it, but then now and again they'll get a snippet of it, and like, oh, okay, there it is. It's coming out now. Not so much in anger though, but a very relaxed, like almost like a certain attitude, almost like how dare you? Like, who do you think you are? And that's the Aries and the Leo rubbing together. you know, that rising and that rising in that how can I say, that sun sometimes, you know, that when they align itself.
Yes. Also, let's talk about, because I'm gonna get really like, I don't know if I'm gonna offend anyone, so understand I may offend some of you, okay? When it comes to this placement, and I apologize in advance. Astrologically wise, Leo, you represent sex. I already said that. Now, your animal is the lion, the cat, anything in the cat family. I don't know if you know this, but you'll tend to see lions or cats or anybody, any animal in the cat family lick themselves. Have you noticed that they always lick themselves, Riley?
Well, yeah, to my understanding, most felines, their tongue is a deodorizer.
Right, correct. But they're very but they use their mouth a lot, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So understand, Leo, you rule oral fixation. Okay, that is your thing, that belongs to your house, oral fixation. So I had made that connection earlier when I was researching your sign a little bit more, and I realized that Leos tend to really like oral sex. For Leo is like, it's important. Is that right, Riley?
That is correct. Because you understand the Leo mindset is focused and centered around his or herself. So pleasing you is also self gratifying because now I get to hear you tell me how much I pleased you. You know, you have to look at the sun when you deal with Leo. Remember, the planets rotate around it. Okay, it's a fixed fire. It's going to do its job. It it's designed to like you said, you know, not narcissistic or just grandiose or, you know, Star is Born. You know, like we talked about before. So whatever Leo does, it always circumvents back to his or herself, whether they like to admit it or not. And it's not that they mean to be arrogant or selfish. It's just the fact that how you going to tell a star not to shine?
Interesting. You said star, because I for some people that don't know this, I also read tarot. Obviously, this is a you know, my viewers know that I read tarot. But if you know anything about the meanings of the tarot cards, the sun, when the sun comes out in tarot, it represents Leo. So tarot integrates astrology a lot, and the sun represents Leo. But the star card in tarot represents Aquarius. Now, this is the polar opposite of Leo. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because I had made the connection very recently as well with the sun and the star, because I'm like, this is interesting that the star, the tarot, the star is actually the polar opposite of Leo. And that was an interesting discovery for me as a tarot card reader.
The Leo, he or she, they are natural stars. They exude a certain confidence, certain elegance, a certain charisma that when they are around you, you feel it. And if a Leo is forced to dumb down who they really are, it almost upsets them. You know, they like, you ever heard somebody say, you know, have the heart of a lion?
Yes.
Well, Leo rules the heart. in the spine. But you know, remember the Wizard of Oz, the lion needed to have a heart. He needed a heart. He's missing a heart. I don't know if you ever saw the Wizard of Oz before, but
yes, I know.
right. The Leo is, he or she is, it's, they are who they are. And you have to love them for it, even when you don't like them for it. Because without the sun, where will we be? If the sun stopped doing its job for 5 seconds, just 5, not a day, not an hour, 5 seconds, the world, the solar system would never be the same. The sun is so powerful that if you were on the sun, which is impossible because 27 billion degrees Fahrenheit, but if you were on the sun, you couldn't even see the planets that you were affecting. Its light is so powerful. You can't even look at the sun more than 10 seconds without probably having an issue with your eyes. It's that powerful. So when you look at the mindset and the psychology of the Leo, you have to understand how they exude that amount of natural power and gift. Now, people that can't stand that light, don't understand that light, don't want to be around Leos because sometimes the sun can be so powerful, you know, you want to get away from it. But he or she doesn't always necessarily realize that they're being that way. And even when they are arrogant, even when they are, you know, a little bit too far with their attitude, because sometimes they expect, oh, because I am, you must do. You know what I'm saying? What does the lion do? The lion kills the cubs of any, if they're not of his birth line, he kills them. Why? He doesn't want anything that's not connected to him as offspring to be around. He doesn't want the offspring of another man around. That's what lions do. They have no desire to be a step parent at all. They want their gene code to reign forever.
Interesting.
And that is
Um,
the Leo. Go ahead.
yeah, it's interesting that you said offspring. I had mentioned offspring and hereditary traits and genes and that you just put it together for me. West Side Kids is here. West Side Kids has Leo Moon. He says he or she says hello. Sorry, West Side Kid. They say
What's up?
hello.
What's how you doing?
But yes, you're right. You know, Leo, you have to understand that yes, you are the sun. People look up to your sunshine. It's the reason why I named it like, you know, I had named it Riley, Let the Sunshine In. I'm not sure if you saw the title, but I was trying to come up with a title for Leos, and I was like, you know what, Leo is the sun. Okay, I'm just gonna put the sunshine for Leo because people look up to you. You make an impact in people's lives, whether you know it or not. And one thing about Leo is that Leos always want to make themselves feel useful. Why is that? Why are Leos always wanting to help someone?
Because they see, okay, let me say something about Leo. And I, you know, the secret to a Leo is it's really not complex. Leos love to hear the sound. They love their name. They love praise. You know, when Leos help, I know Leo people that will help you, and before you even can finish getting out your mouth, they'll say, "Oh, you're welcome." Meaning, meaning that you better thank me. Don't be rude. Thank me. I did this. And but now let's get one thing straight though. When a Leo loves, he or she loves hard. They take pride in loyalty. They are regal. You know, a king and a queen respect loyalty. You know, they're not just gonna take from you. If when they decide, but now what they won't do is they're not gonna tolerate embarrassment, and they're not gonna be around people who are not going to be of a certain standard in their eyes. So to answer your question, when you said why they helping people, because they are loyal to people who also they care for, you know, and in return they like praise for it. You know,
Correct.
like when somebody says that person is a star, she's a star, he's a star. What does that mean? That means people want to see them. People want to be in their presence. People want to take their pictures. People want their autographs. People want to have said that they saw them in a concert. You know, to be around them is marvelous. It's light. You know, what do paparazzi do? They take pictures and flash lights to stars just to see their shoe or them eating food. You know, they just have that quality about them. Look at who's a Leo that Kylie Jenner's a Leo. You know, and look how people love being in her presence. Holly Berry. You know, the list goes on. There's something about that energy with them that it's very powerful. And sometimes, you know, and I hate talking like that because I don't want anybody else to feel like their sign is not as great as Leo, because that's not what I'm trying to convey. I'm just saying you have to respect the crown that they are inherently born with.
Well, I mean, I did say earlier that everyone does have a fifth house placement, but in different ways, you know. So everybody is the sun. You know, in my eyes, I feel like everybody has a, you know, everybody has a Leo placement, believe it or not. It really depends on the representation of your house. So, you know, Gemini, for example, you know, Gemini rules communication, the environment. So when it comes to Gemini, and I'm going to go back to sex again, Gemini would be the one because they rule communication. Um, they would be the one that would like to be filmed while they're having sex. You know, my porn stars are usually, well, not my porn stars, but porn stars are usually under the sign of Leo. Gemini is one of them. Gemini don't need the pornographic industry. They have the industry in their bedroom. uh, but Sagittarius, Scorpio is one of them. But for Leo, is foreplay very important?
Yes, absolutely.
You're like, yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some compatibilities? Like, what are some compatibilities, zodiac sign compatibilities for a Leo in the bedroom?
Uh Scorpio, Aries, Cancer.
Yeah, well, Cancer could be a freakadeek. People don't know that about Cancer.
No,
We
no
had
idea.
mentioned Cancer last week. We had mentioned how Cancer can, you know, they just need to be a little open. Once they're open, in the bedroom, you know, the freak comes out. You said what other sign? You said Scorpion. Who else?
Aries, Scorpio, Cancer. I would throw Sag in there too, but only sexual, nothing else. No. We can't. It could work. It can work with those two. But like it would be like one of those things where they argue, but they never leave each other type thing. That type of thing.
That's two fire signs.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I would be remiss if I didn't say Libra. But that's not only sex, that's actually love too. And Leo and Leo.
Oh
But
yeah,
Leo,
I've seen Leo couples.
but Leo and Libra, it will probably be the most beneficial long term.
Okay.
You know why, right?
No, because
Because
they
the,
won't leave each other.
because the Libra likes that. The Libra needs to have somebody around, and the Leo likes to be needed because it makes him or her feel. It makes them feel good about themselves. Remember, Leos they love praise. You know,
What
they
about Taurus? Taurus, because Taurus, Venus also rules Taurus and Libra.
the only downside to them is that they're both fixed. So what happens is fixed fire, fixed earth. Now you're dealing with the component of, remember, I'm the sun. You rotate around me. I'm giving you light. Taurus is like, oh, really? Huh. So, yeah, okay. So,
That sounds awful. The way you put it.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna. But it's not that the Taurus won't be attracted to the Leo, because Leo people tend to have very like their features and their beards or their hair. They have a very manliness or femininity about themselves as a sun sign. In other placements as well, but particularly in that particular area. So other signs will always be attracted to Leo naturally. And they're charismatic too. Leos they're not boring. They're charismatic. If you run a business and you need somebody in the sales department, you might want to get a Leo. They will take it to they just have that aura about them.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, understand Leo is the teenager of the zodiac. So here we are. We spoke about Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. So now we're into the teenage stage of the zodiac wheel. Um, and this is the popular jock. This is the popular cheerleader. Just popular. And so they really know how to work a crowd. Depending, I guess, on their rising sign, I feel. But I've seen Leos work the crowd. I mean, they're entertainers. I mean, oh my God, I was looking at the list for Leos because I already knew that there was a lot of celebrities out there with Leo placement, but the list, oh my gosh, I mean, we got Robert De Niro, Whitney Houston, Madonna, Mariah Carey. I mean, these are big hitters.
Mariah Carey's an Aries.
Oh, that's right. She's an Aries, my bad. But she does act like a Libra. I mean a Leo. Yes, that's right. She J-Lo, maybe that's what I meant to say. J-Lo. Um I mean the list goes on, but I wanted to let's talk about the couples, especially I mentioned Whitney Houston. I know Whitney Houston is she's deceased, but she was married to Bobby Brown for quite some time, and Bobby Brown is an Aquarius. So here we have the polar opposite working together, Leo and Aquarius combination. Another popular celebrity couple that I'm intrigued by is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Here we have Meghan Markle, the Leo, and Prince Harry, the Aquarius. So my question to you, Riley, is do you think there's a difference in relationship when it comes to like a female Leo and a male Aquarius, or a female Aquarius and a male Leo?
Well, the difference is movement. Look at a chessboard. The queen is still regal because she's a queen. That's like a female Leo. And the male is like the king. The female piece on the chessboard, even though it's regal, She will move around in different areas to keep the kingdom safe. She has no problem moving and shaking and knowing how to maneuver around things to get the job done. Whereas the male Leo can work in the pocket. He works in the pocket. He doesn't necessarily, he moves, but his confidence is more of a so astute that I don't have to do too much because I am the king. Whereas the female Leo, well, I'm the queen, I'm gonna do things my way. You ever notice that even in the Lion Kingdom, the females do most of the work.
Yes, that's
They do
true.
the hunting, they do the raising the kids. What does the male do? He just keeps them safe. He comes out when he has
Yes.
to come out, do the hyenas, and he goes back and he just have sex with them all the time.
Yes. It's very true in the human kingdom too.
Right. And guess what? I'm the king. So I think the female Leo, um, she moves like a boss, but you can only handle her if you're a boss too. You can't be weak with a Leo woman. You can't. She's too strong and she'll take over if you, she'll boss you around.
Yeah.
You better be happy that you're in my presence. Yo, this woman is something else. I ain't gonna lie. You better be happy that you're in my presence. You know, but in return, I will love you conditionally, and I'm loyal to you. But you embarrass me, you screw me over, you shame me, we have a problem for life. You know, because you don't play with the sun. You do what the sun wants you to do.
How do you feel about Leo's aggressive behavior? Speaking about the animal kingdom, like what do you have to say about? Let's talk about the fire signs. So we have like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and I'm picking on the fire signs because I mean we're talking about hot, passionate people and creative. But in different ways, right? So to me, an Aries can be aggressive, a Leo can be aggressive, Sagittarius can be aggressive, but in different ways. But nonetheless, them people, they have like this temper. I like what do you have to say about the aggression when it comes to like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius? If you had to like split them up in categories when it comes to aggression.
First, I'll make it general, then I'll make it specific. You gotta remember something. If you had a rose garden, right, and I had it outside, right, it would grow. The air would help produce it. If I added water to that rose garden, it would also grow because the water would nourish it, right? The rose can't most likely going to come out of the ground, so it's seeded in itself, being that it's earth, help it grow. Fire does not care about those other elements. Fire destroys.
That's
Fire
true.
does. Fire is not designed. Fire is designed to destroy and break down and for something to rebuild again. It doesn't care about the rose bush. If the fire won't say, "Hey, well, these are nice roses. Let me just go to the grass." No, fire will destroys in its path. So, with that being said, you're dealing with an element that operates on a very selfishness in itself because it doesn't really care about the effect it may have on you initially because it's not designed to care about your feelings. The sun in itself is actually very powerful, but it ain't gonna care if you get skin cancer. it ain't gonna stop shining because you get skin cancer, is it? Remember,
Yeah.
it's fixed. You deal with fixed fire. I mean, yeah, fixed meaning I'm not gonna stop. I can't stop. I got a job to do. But to break that down into those three, the Aries is tantrum. You know, the Leo is more, cocky, fire. And the Sag is like, all right, I got what I need. I got what I understand. I get it. I understand it. Do you understand it? Oh, too bad for you. I got it. On to the next thing. More of a
Interesting.
more like a stush. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do. Jupiter. I'm big. I'm big dog. I'm Sag. I'm do what I want.
Interesting.
So all those three are built in a certain level of selfishness, because a teenager is very selfish. A child, a baby is extremely selfish. And a person who's feel that they are above certain things and don't have to learn anything is selfish. All fire.
Interesting dynamic. Imagine having a family full of fire, like mommy and daddy and the baby, all are fire signs.
My dad was a Leo. My dad was a Leo.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you a funny story about him. We had a two driveway garage, right? And he used to, now there's two driveways. He owned both of them, right? He still would park his car in front of the house.
Oh man, OMG.
I'm like, Dad, why would you do that? He says, I don't want no ugly cars in front of the crib. Leo. See?
What is it with Leo and the cars? I mean, and I know Leo's not the only sign, but I've seen Leos, especially males, all like it has to be about the car they drive. And if it's not the car, it's the women they're with. What is that?
Because anything less than the best, no way. How can the way I see myself internally not match externally? How dare I do such a thing?
How dare
Everything
you?
that they
How dare
do,
you as a Leo?
everything that they do, Leo, I'm telling you, Leos will do things. They will get things that they can't afford. They will overspend, and they will lose it and say, you know what? Who can bounce back? They don't, but they typically find a way. You know, And I'm not gonna be no wow, what? A 2009? How dare? you know. And if they have 2009 in the back of their mind, they don't they unless they're very evolved, they can live with it, but they'd rather not. They do it big. You can fit, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can take all of the planets and fit it in the sun almost 600 times. The sun is big. It's our biggest star in the solar system. There's other suns and other solar systems, but the one we have, is big. So how can they be humble? They gotta learn to be humble later on in life through trial. They learn, but initially, you know, that's just not they're okay. Let me not say I don't want to say they're arrogant and all the time. It's just that they're grandiose. The beautiful woman, the nice car, the house, big spender. I'm the man,
Um,
and women love them. Women love Leo men, and men love Leo women. Love them.
Yeah.
Even though they hate that they love them. So what? They love them. Love them.
You can't, I've noticed, because I was with a Leo for many years. I've noticed that I can never stay angry. I don't know if it's me has, being, like, is it my birth chart? Because I have Scorpio in my chart. So Scorpios are known to hold grudges, but I don't know. Maybe it's my other placements, having a Pisces rising or whatever. Like, I just realized that, like, I mean, I Leos could get on people's nerves, but that's okay. They are who they are. They are who they are. But I've also noticed, I can never, with my ex specifically, who is a Leo, I should say, I could never stay angry for a very long time. Why you can't stay angry at them?
Because they're charismatic.
They're a big show, right?
It's almost like it's hard for you to stay mad at someone who really believes in their mind that you shouldn't be mad at them. Like, why are you mad at me? Like, what did I do? Oh, I did this, and they really feel like there's nothing wrong, and because they believe it a lot of times. You like, wait a minute, maybe I'm overreacting, but you're not. It's just the fact that they're not going to subscribe to anything less than. But I'll say this though, they have one Achilles heel though. If they fall in love with you, if they fall deep in love with you, oh man, you got them. Because they'll fall in love with you, and the fact that they love you, I love that person, they will equate that level of love with who they did. I love him, I love her, so I this has to be it. They'll be looking at themselves through you vicariously when they really love you, but they have to really love you. If they don't love you, then don't worry. Then that's on you. Leo women will flirt with you. Leo men will flirt with women or whatever, and just to get your attention, and have no intention of being with you. Will ghost you, talk to you on the phone. If they're not into you, they'll play with you for a little bit, get your attention, and decide, nah, not my thing. I'm good. They can be flirtatious too. But when they love you, they into you, you got it.
Well, how do you keep a Leo interested? Like, how do you keep them to stay in a relationship?
The same way that the sun keeps the planets aligned, you keep gravitating towards them. You gravitate towards them and you let them be who they are, and you make them feel like the king queen that they naturally are. You put a crown on their head.
Yeah.
And most people, don't get me
get
wrong, not everybody's gonna do that. See, not everybody's gonna subscribe to that. They're like, nah, I'm not doing that. Hell no. All right, no problem. I'll find somebody that will, and they will.
So what's a good compatible long-term relationship sign for a Leo?
Libra.
Yeah, you keep saying Libra. Interesting.
Because the Libra needs to have somebody. They're we people. Remember, it's the opposite of Aries, who are I people. Libras are we people. So whatever the Leo does, the Libra will tolerate it because for the sake of, I don't want to really be by myself type of. Libras are not really single for a long time. They always find something in a relationship. It's not a coincidence. Um,
But can I ask you a question? Like, Libra is an air moon, and not only are there I'm sorry, Libra is an air placement. Not only that, the seventh house, Libra represents relationships. So yes, they're good at, keeping a Leo, but isn't a Leo going to get a little jealous if their Libra keeps, being the social butterfly?
Yeah, but the Leo, they're so sharp and they're so astute and they're so confident. It always comes back home. The Libra may the Libra may do that now and again just to keep a little momentum on her part or his part, but the Leo is such a powerful source that the Libra will gravitate towards. Because the Libra may flirt for attention, they might not do it in the presence of a Leo. That's the whole thing too. You gotta keep that in mind too. You're not gonna embarrass Leo, and Leo not gonna have that. So if they do that, it may not be in their presence as well. We don't forget that variable. And like I said, the when you're dealing with the cardinal air and fixed fire, that's a natural complement.
What do you I'm going to ask you one question, and then I'll ask because I have West Side Kids has a Leo moon, so I want to ask two questions, and then I'll tune out. One, um, what sign would you think is Leo's worst enemy?
Maybe Capricorn.
Why? Why Capricorn?
I would say Capricorn because the Capricorn is focused on money and business, and the Capricorn is not going to entertain you because you think you're the shit. The Capricorn is also, you're dealing with a cardinal Earth. So, like on this plane, I run shit, and Leo's like, but I run all the 9 planets. Sorry, buddy. On this plane, though. We not up there. We on this plane. See, the Capricorn not gonna tolerate so much. Now, where they might get along at is the idea of family, maybe, because Leo people, for the most part, do love kids. Leos love kids. I don't know if they love the way kids admire them, or I don't know, but Leo and Capricorn understands family as a structure, so that I can see that connecting to a degree, depending on placements. But as far as getting along, the Capricorn is not gonna kiss your ass.
Yeah, right thing about kids and family. I could see that Capricorn being the patriarch of the zodiac sign, and Leo ruling children. I mean, coming from Cancer, who represents the matriarch and the nurturer, and then that energy spilling into Leo, and Leo being the playful person, and one thing about Leos I've noticed that they're really good with children.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah, they are. They're very playful. They get them. Um, and so you're right. I could see that happening as working as a family structure.
Right. Because I think Leo likes the fact how kids admire them. Kids admire Leos because kids, are naturally innocent, and kids love genuinely, and Leos like that level of gratification that they get from kids. They
Yeah.
just Leo's a little bit more, remember they're like the teenagers. They're fun, and kids are fun to a degree. But Leo, yeah. But that was just my opinion about being the worst sign. I mean, it could be one worse than that. But
Which one? What could be worse?
Oh, the Scorpio might be second.
Really? Is it because it's fixed water?
Stubbornness after the sex was left. After the steam, the water and fire, the personalities could be, Scorpio requires a certain level of chess movement. And the Leo may not feel he or she has to play that type of game.
But that's that psychological part of that Scorpio, because let's get it correct. Scorpio like to play mind games, and
Right.
Leo's not about that.
No. Because I'm playing games with you, you're not really admiring me. And how dare you do that?
You laugh. I know. I agree. Going back to I'm trying to figure out who else I dated, but I mean, my ex is very prominent. Leo. I've had a couple. I'm sorry. I've had a couple of other Leos besides my ex that I was with one of my Leo ex I've been with for many years. And then I had another one who I was with for years as well, but it didn't really, escalate that much. And there was a couple of other ones too. So as a Scorpio, what attracts me to Leo? I'm trying to figure out what attracts me to Leo. Well, the sex, the fact that they're willing to be entertained and in the bedroom, that's great for me, having my fifth house, Scorpio in the fifth house, I think. And also I just like to be playful, I had that Sagittarius fire side, Venus in Sagittarius. I have been ritual 1111 here. I think she was in a relationship with a Cap. So she says it makes sense. But the interesting thing is, I think that she's saying that she also has been ritual 1111 has also a Capricorn and Leo placement in the birth chart. And it makes sense there. However, the love part is definitely a dead situation. So she agrees as far as a dead situation when it comes to love between Capricorn and Leo. And I think Lady Pink has said the same thing too. Leo and Cap in relationship breakdown.
Yeah, it's not gonna go too far. They both like nice things though. As far as style, because Capricorns, they have good taste, expensive taste. So does Leo. So they have good taste in things, but as far as each other and how they relate to each other is hypersensitive or not, because the Capricorn is not gonna put with that foolishness. And as far as the Capricorn is no, I said that wrong. Leo not gonna put with that foolishness as far as you're not focusing on me. And the Capricorn is not gonna put up with the fact that I don't have time to focus on what you want me to focus on. And the Capricorn could be a little bit emotionally detached. Remember, opposite of Cancer, Capricorn is Cancer. So the Capricorn may not know how to relate to the Leo. And the Leo may require a little bit more than what the Capricorn is willing to give. So I don't want to say, it's personality style. It's just a style, that they have with one another. Like she said, the emotional part is just dead. Because Leo's, remember, it's the heart. When Leos get sad and they hurt, it really affects them.
Yeah, it's interesting that you brought that situation up because as a tarot card reader, I've been seeing not every time, but lately I've been seeing Leos not in a good place. Of course, I know it doesn't resonate for everyone, but I've seen my Leo reads. If you're dealing with a Leo or you're a Leo yourself, I've seen in my readings that Leos are going through a really tough time. Like, what do you have to say? Is there any advice you have to say for people that have Leo placements and are struggling, especially this year? Any advice?
I would just say you have to weather the storm. You're gonna have to pull from resources that you probably didn't know that you had, but because you are regal and because you are naturally confident and because people do look for you as something to aspire to, use that energy, use it. Because don't some see this is sometimes what happens though. Fear and anxiety, come from many different places. What we all know, anxiety comes from the unknown, not understanding what's going to happen next, what could happen next, but it's also fear-based. And sometimes if you're so focused solely on yourself to the point of detriment, it can increase levels of anxiety. So I would tell the Leo, don't put so much emphasis on yourself to the point of detriment. Um, and just you've gotten through so much before, and people love you, people admire you, people look up to you, people are jealous of you, because you have it. You're the it factor. So you're going through a tough time. Remember, you know, you got what it takes to pull through. It's in you.
Yeah,
Now,
thank you. That's amazing advice. I also think that working with young people, or at least changing someone's life, or trying to change, I don't know, trying to make an impact, will help Leos as well, because they want to be useful, and they are, and they make amazing. They are amazing helpers in emotional, physical. They never get tired. I just never see a Leo really tired. Even when they're tired, they're not tired. So when I see Leos, feeling really down and sad, oh my God, it is like the most saddest thing to watch.
the
The
pride.
vibe, yeah, the vibe is gone. It's it's sad for me, and I have like I don't have Leo, and I like because they're Lady Pink had a very interesting. She Lady Pink says, Leo is lavish, Capricorn is frugal. Also, Leo is optimistic, Capricorn are pessimistic. Um, and I think that's a amazing good point. Yes, one thing about Leo is that they're like very optimistic people.
Right. What she said, I love it. That is the bullseye. Because sometimes when you talk to Capricorn people, it always seems like they always never like, it's that Saturn, it's that restriction. It's almost like they walk around with something over them, you know. And it could be their practice. Maybe that they have their own spirit where they become practical and they understand that, we're on this physical plane for trials and tests. So when things don't go right, it's actually part of the plan mentality. Whereas the Leo is more like, the good life, you know, live, love, laugh, you know. Um, you know, so she's absolutely right.
Also, I wanted to know about Leo moons. Do you have any like the behavior of a Leo moon? Like, what are their behaviors? I'm curious to know.
Well, think of the Leo moon is probably somebody who maxed out all their credit cards. In the sense of, emotionally, you know, they want, remember, they can be a little lavish, as sister said, and they look good, like the image, how it looks. That's important. So if it's a Leo moon, emotionally, you may see a lot of people emotional buyers. You know, stylish though, style. Like, and they may have moments where they could be a little bit self-centered, a little bit emotionally. Um, you know, but also tough too. A Leo moon, better be careful with that one, because she'll smack the shit out you.
Worse than an Aries moon?
They running neck and neck.
I feel like Aries is more impulsive and really like out of control with their emotions. But I don't know. I'm just making an assumption. And Leo moon is probably more of a and this is like we're talking about cat fights here. Leo moon will curse you out a new, like, they're really good when it comes to, like, even though they're fighting, the words that come out of a Leo mouth when they're angry is so entertaining. You're like, well, oh my God, I can't believe they just said that to you. And it'd be entertaining.
You ever watch a pimp talk?
Yeah.
The Leo has that, that pimp energy. Like, I have the ability to get you to do what I need you to do to benefit me and you, but mainly me. That's that pimp energy. You know what I'm saying? Cadillac, the fur, smooth talking, easy on the eyes, for women they like, the opposite others, for the women to the men, men to women, whatever. It's that thing. Like you don't want to do what, baby? You want to do what? What I'm asking you to do?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And you almost fall, and you fall for it.
Yes. It's entertaining.
Yeah. I had a Leo woman one time. She tricked, let me tell you what she did real quick. She told me she wanted me to help her move. But then she said, I did a lot of packing last night. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool, we good. This is years ago. I get over to her house, think I'm gonna pack some of the heavy stuff. She only did about 10%. And she's gonna tell me, I said I did some last night. See, didn't apologize for misleading me, because in her mind, she wanted me to do all of it.
Oh yeah, I feel so bad. I'm sorry. I when you said misleading, I kind of felt that right there. I can't believe that person misled you.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't just me. She had other friends come too. And everybody's moving her stuff. And she's just looking at everybody moving it and almost giving directions. Like, how did she do this to us? And better yet, how are you allowing it to happen? You know what I'm saying? Because they'll finesse you. And you just fall for it. Like, you know what? Next time it ain't gonna happen. that's how you rationalize it in your mind. She ain't gonna give me like this next time.
Well, I mean, one thing about Leos, I feel like they're natural born leaders.
Yeah,
We
they're
have
natural. They're natural born royalty. Leader is a little different than royalty. Sometimes you can be both, but you can be royalty because you can be born into royalty, not necessarily. And people just gravitate towards you because you're the prince or you're the queen, like the princess. And because people gravitate towards that royalty, you can give orders and command, and people will follow it. So it appears to have a leadership ambiance to it. You know, I look at a leader more like a war general. You know?
I just feel like they when you say the word royalty, to me, like it just brings me back to what the fifth house represents, what the fifth house rules is the stage, the theater, drama, lights, camera, action.
Yeah. You heard what my man Simba said, I can't wait to be king. You know? It's just, remember in the Lion King, look, even though it's a cartoon, but you have to look beyond stuff like that. What did everybody do? They bowed down while he was on top of the ledge in the beginning of the cartoon. Everybody, the zebras, they all bowing down to Simba. No, not Simba, before Simba, the first king before he died.
Yeah, yeah.
And what did Scar do? He killed his own brother because he wanted to be king, the king. You feel me? You
Yes.
see? There you go. You got to really look behind the cartoon, look at the message. I'm the son. I want people to worship me.
Yeah. And you know what? For the most part, they get away with it. They get away with it. But good for them. Good for them.
Listen, I'm mad at it. I get it.
Hi, B Rabbit. B Rabbit just entered the chat. All right. So I guess we're pretty much done here. Thank you, Riley. Virgo will be next. I can't wait to talk about Virgos. You know, if not next week, the week after, we'll definitely catch up with the insight and information with the rest of the zodiac signs. And I don't know. I was thinking, Riley, after we finish all 12 zodiac signs, after Pisces, do you want to get into compatibility? Like, do you want to do like a segment of compatibility of the signs?
Sure.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
But that's 144 combinations. You ready for that?
I'm not ready for it. It sounds tiring.
So
I'm tiring already, but you know, I mean, we'll get some requests and we'll go by that request. I don't mind getting people's requests. I don't know if does anybody? I have people in the chat here. Westside, Bin Ritual, B Rabbit, Lady Pink. Do you have any questions about Leos? Anything that you want to know about Leos, or do you have any comments about Leo? Otherwise, you know, we'll see you next time for Virgos. What do you have to say about Virgos? I think Virgos are, for me, like, I think Virgos, they're very interesting sign, because this is where the horoscope splits, right? So we got the first 6 signs of the zodiac wheel, and then the last 6 signs of the zodiac wheel, and then Virgo is right there in the middle. So I call them the professor, the magician in tarot.
Yeah, the Virgos, they're the scientists of the zodiac.
Yeah, you call them the scientists. Yeah.
They're methodical thinkers, analyzers. You know, they don't necessarily jump too fast, but sometimes they overthink and it paralyzes them. But I will leave it as that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited for that. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, everyone in the chat room, for your comments. I appreciate that. Love y'all. Please subscribe, donate, and I'll see you for the love readings this week, folks. Okay. Bye.